Hi, this is Matt with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and this is Tuesday, July the 17th. This will serve as our chart lesson for today. If you were looking for a chart lesson yesterday and couldn't find one, that's because I didn't do one, and I apologize, but our internet went out yesterday here at the office, and we didn't get our internet back until about 9 o'clock this morning. And so, and the really worst part of it, I guess I was really lucky in that when it went out, I had just exited my first trade of the morning. So I did get a winning trade yesterday. I only won. I wasn't able to make my target because I couldn't get on the rest of the day, and we contacted our internet provider, and there was some kind of network outage in our area, and so we weren't the only ones. The whole area was down. So I don't know what happened, but they didn't get us back up and going until about 9 o'clock my time this morning, and I got in just in time I missed this opening trade here. I got in time to this trade was setting up right here, so I got in here just right for a pretty good move here. But let's go over the trades. Let me back out where you can see it. There's the big picture, so you can just see that. We started out in a downtrend and then reversed to an uptrend. But let's go look at the big picture. We did have quite a bit of news today too, and so some of this was news driven and so forth. But this first trade up here, hopefully this is a really obvious trade here. Remember, we're not really looking to go long until we get a setup with the former resistance acting as support, and that never happened. We broke above and we went into this little trading range, and then we broke above that, and all that did was trap people, and that was right at the open. And this thing reversed. And remember what I'm always telling you, if you start to get some overlap with a bunch of dojis like this and you're way away from the EMA, especially because it was a failed break above all these highs, it's just about a gimme to come back and test the at least the EMA and probably the other end of the range, since this was a breakout. And you can see though, but if you caught this, you caught the high of the day, and it was literally 55 down to 40, so that's about a 15-point move from the entry point to the lows, depending on where you exited. So it was a pretty good trade. I hate I missed that because this is a great setup. This is one of the things I look for quite a bit, is to get way away from the EMA, especially on a range type day, and then get this overlap and then break the opposite way, because it's very rarely that prices are just going to skip on higher like that. They're probably going to come back and test the EMA. And you can see it happened right here again too. We broke higher out of this little trading range that's way away from the EMA, and sure enough, we pull all the way back. So this would have been good enough for a scalp. I didn't mark this trade long because we were in an uptrend by that time, but it's still worth looking for. And this is really kind of a double bottom here. This was really kind of a trading range right in here, but we'll get to that later. But hopefully some of you saw this trade right here and saw this long trap that reversed. And again, it was about a 15-point move from the entry point to the lows. So hopefully you got somewhere between 5 to 10 or 12 points out of that, and who knows, maybe you got more than that. But hopefully you at least got 5 to 10 points out of that. And there was another setup here. I got here just in time to catch this one. And this is a similar pattern to this up here, but we are below the EMA. And this is a breakout pullback short. We broke below the support area here. We tested it once. We tested it twice. And you could have entered right here because it was a fairly nice trap. But because of all this overlap, it was probably better to wait until we came back up here and tested it again and then closed on the low, because it was really negative then. And we had a failed second entry long on top of that. And this is just a two-legged pullback to the EMA. So that was the ideal spot to go short. If you went short below here and used this as your signal bar, as long as you kept your stop above it, you were good to go. But this was the better setup right here because you got another long trap. And you could have gone short right there. And again, any runners would have easily been safe here and good for another 5 points to 10 or 12 points. So it was another really good setup. Then we finally got a break of the trend line right here, but this is a second entry short. You got just enough out of this to get your scalp. and then it was obvious that this was kind of acting as support over here. We went back, tested the high, and again you got one break higher, and then we tried to go higher again, and it was probably better to wait on this for your signal bar because it's a real negative bar, but at the same time it's getting really close to the lows. So I don't know if you took that one or not. I actually entered below this one just because of the trap here, and it was an easy scalp. It did bounce, no runners on this particular entry, but you got a chance to enter again here on this breakout pullback short. And this was really hard to see, and at least it was on my chart. But you see this pullback right here. We broke lower below this double bottom right here, kind of tested these previous lows over here, and then we went back up and tested that support, and it acted as resistance and reverse prices. So there's your entry, your signal bar is this red bar right here, one tick below that, and then it was off to the races again. And really what I was looking for was a leg here that was equal to this one. So when we didn't make that lower leg and we reversed down here, that was a good sign that we were probably going higher. And let me show you that. Anytime you come up that short on a measure leg, and you see there's leg one, and then this would have been leg two, and you can see we came up several points shy of that, 2 or 3 points at least shy of that target, and then prices reversed, and by the time got here we were making higher highs and higher lows. So that's a good sign that prices are going to go higher. And you can see we ended up breaking this high right here. We broke the overnight high, came and kind of went into a trading range the latter part of the day. But anyway, let's there was actually a couple of longs in here, but they weren't strong longs because this was a pretty strong trend down through here. And until and we never tested this, as you can see there, we never tested that support. If you drag that over there, that's what held prices up right here, was this support area that we broke through. We never really gave it a good test, and generally when you'll move down and come back and test it sooner than that. So I wasn't 100% sure that this was not just a retest of this high right here, and we already had a couple of legs up, so I wasn't real sure. But when you got two, anytime you get two legs back to the EMA that are a correction and the prices are trending, which now you can see we're making higher highs and higher lows, so we're definitely trending higher. This is a double bottom at the EMA. It's two legs back. That's worth the risk, so that's a nice long right there. And you can see if you took that risk, it was off to the races again. Any runners were easily safe, and this time from where your entry was at around 46 or so all the way to the highs up here at 60. So we had some pretty good moves today, and hopefully you caught some of these. There were actually, this was a breakout pullback long. This was a double bottom, but these were getting risky by the time you got up here going long, and you see it didn't go very far before it came back. And the key entry points are always going to be along the trend line. And once we kind of had these three touches right there, we had a little bit of a break here, but it wasn't much of one. And then you see we came off of it twice. You actually could have taken this one as a second entry long, but if you didn't, there was a second entry long off the low right here, and then it was off to the races again. And it was a little tricky. It kind of got scary there. They probably trapped out some people right there, but you know, we always teach to keep your stop below your signal bar unless it's too large, and you got to have too big a stop. So if you entered here, your stop would have been right here, and if you entered above this one, your stop, that would have been your signal bar, and your stop would be down here. And either way, you're safe, and off to the races for another 3 to 5 points there. And that was pretty much it. It was too choppy by the time we got in here late in the day. There was never really a setup. There might have been a setup here simply because there was a failed second entry short, but the trend is up, so it's better not to take that long. I don't even think it would have worked. I think you would have got trapped and you would have got stopped out on that trade. And by the time we got over in here, it's just getting too late. And you see, we never even really got a chance to go test the highs again. I guess this little break here could be considered good enough to be a break of the trend line and then a move to a new high. But you see, we never really headed lower. We just kind of stayed in this trading range. It's just too late in the day. And we'd had a fairly decent move both down and up, so That was pretty much it for the day. And again, I hate we didn't get a chart lesson yesterday, but again, if you missed the first part of the video, if you missed it, there wasn't a chart lesson yesterday because my internet service was down all day, and it was down again still this morning for the first hour or so, and I was a little bit leery about entering a trade because I was afraid it may go down again, but I did go ahead and enter, and we didn't have any problems, and the internet's been good the rest of the day. I'm a little bit late doing the video today as well because I had to do some catch up from yesterday. Some other business. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We're at 10 minutes. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com. Hope you had a good trading day, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.